Hello and welcome to The Lobby, GameSpot's weekly hangout chat show thingamajig every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific right here on GameSpot.com. I'm Daniel Dwyer. Thank you, name bar. Chris Waters is here.
What's up, Danny?
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good.
First of all, sweet shirt.
Thank you.
Edward and Ein.
Got my Cowboy Bebop Rosie the Riveter crossover going.
Perfect.
Feel real good about it.
While we're on clothes talk, Mary, you've got some sandwich stains on your pants, I hear.
I had a sandwich before I came on.
Great.
Thanks, Danny.
Rob has got some
everyone.
sort of collusion shirt on.
Sure.
Yeah, we don't know what that is.
Just slipped it on.
And I'm not wearing plaid for the first time since 2012.
Go for it.
We're so fashion forward.
Get used to this top. Am I right?
I love it.
New Grand
Get
Pappy
roost.
O'Dwyer.
Grand.
It's soft too.
Get used to small stripes, which read great on camera.
Yeah, good point. Yeah. Am I like freaking out? Who was that guy we had on before? It was.
Was it during
remember
GDC? I think because
Yeah.
a developer
yeah.
came in with this like real starched shirt, but the lines were so tight, everyone in the chat was flipping out.
That's the ultimate rule of live: is you don't wear green and you don't wear stripes.
Stripes.
Yeah.
It's like a refresh rate thing with the camera. It looked like it was like constantly moving, like
Oh,
more.
that's really upsetting.
Bones from the skin of an elder god,
Got that. Anyway,
which is actually a good look.
Elder Godskin.
Yeah.
It's in right now.
Pretty great. Yeah. This isn't, unfortunately. Plaid's coming back though, and I'm going to be prepared. We're here to talk about. I can't believe I'm about to say it, but we're here to talk about Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC. It's Rob Handler. It feels like it's been decades
Forever.
waiting for the PC version of GTA 5 to come out. Came out today. Came out yesterday.
Yesterday at 4 p.m.
Yeah. for us
Yourself and Mary
yesterday.
played a bunch of it on a live stream yesterday.
That's right.
First of all, what are your thoughts on it in terms of the... Let's get into the graphical prowess.
Sure.
Because that's probably the one thing that everyone's been looking forward to with all these screenshots and whatnot.
Right.
How does it look?
So it looks pretty good. I mean, granted, everyone's system's gonna be different. We played on GTX 760, and we didn't get as much optimization as we liked, just because we rushed right into a stream.
Yeah, Mary, you were saying yesterday on the stream that it didn't look that much different to like the console versions when you were
No,
playing.
I mean we were playing around. We messed with some things. We tried to get character differentiation, like more. We wanted more people. We wanted the population, and we wanted more diverse population, and so we did that.
Right, so here it is.
And then we walked around punching people, looking to see if there was anyone the same. And they look different, but
So-
it's not like a huge difference from console, is what I was saying. And it's not that it looked bad. I mean, it looks fantastic. And there's things that you're naturally going to notice. You know, I think like the draw distance is bigger and the
Yeah.
textures
Yeah.
look better. I think the lighting looks better, but it wasn't a huge difference.
And like you
Right.
said, there are like sliders for like density in terms of pedestrians, in terms of like traffic as well, draw
Sure.
distance.
So, well, one of the big ones was I went actually just recently and tweaked with it a little more to see if I could get more out of it, because we were playing on just normal texture quality.
Right.
And you could really tell it wasn't comparable to the Xbox One or PS4.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
it looked like an older gen.
So you crank that up.
So I cranked. What I did is there's something also called population variety.
Right.
So I cranked that like pretty much all the way to 0.
Great, just white guys
Right.
all over the
Sure,
place. The whole
whatever
place,
comes
yeah.
It looked like Congress.
And was able to get more memory out of like just the graphical quality. So then I could then crank it up to like high, and get basically what you would expect out of like an Xbox One.
Cool.
And
What type of rig are you using though? Is it like is it taking up quite a lot of memory? I know they have a slider showing you how much video memory you've got left. and
Right,
whatnot.
which is great, and that's how you can do like just a lot of tweaking and kind of get what you're actually walking into. So yeah, that was GTX 760. I know we also have two 980s, I believe.
In the office, yeah, in the
And
back for
we
the
have
graphics
a
comparison.
4K.
Oh, cool.
And so people have been messing around with that and have been able to crank that up like all the way.
How does that look?
Yeah.
Pretty
Amazing.
great.
How's the frame rate?
Um,
You trying to aim for 60 for the graphics
yeah,
comparisons?
they were tweaking, like doing like minor tweaks and stuff. It seemed like 60. Yeah, I mean, at least 50 to 60.
Yeah, and the difference, especially like it's all depending on what you're doing, right? You know, like 60 while you're driving is going to make a hell of a difference. It's going to look so much better. And you know, when you look at the draw distance, like if you're in a field, in a forest, or something like that, that's like when that stuff is going to really shine. And we're like in a city, it wasn't as amazing. I think. just in the next few rounds we're going to play, and the open is really when you're going to start seeing how beautiful that game can really be.
Excellent.
She looks good though.
Yeah, not anymore apparently. Apart from the graphics stuff, then obviously they've added a bunch of stuff to the director and whatnot. We'll get to that in a second. What I want to talk to you about is something you touched on earlier, Rob, which was the PC. Obviously now you can use a mouse and keyboard.
Right.
How does that change how you sort of play with this world? Because one of the problems with first person on the PS4 and Xbox One was that you weren't playing it like you play a first person shooter.
Sure. You're, so you're, especially when you're driving or like operating a vehicle, if you're trying to look around, you're constantly trying to fight the stick automatically trying to center.
Yeah.
And that is a little frustrating for first person. Like if you're driving and you want to look at out the window to the left, you're constantly kind of battling in on the stick.
You're saying on the...
I'm sorry, for console,
consoles,
yeah.
yeah.
So now you got, mouse and keyboard, and you just get complete freedom, and that feels awesome.
Does it feel like you're just bouncing around like an FPS?
Yeah, like first person, like shooting, like, oh my god, it felt really great. Because when I'm playing console, I'm actually kind of constantly going back and forth.
Yeah.
Like maybe I like to drive third person.
That seems like a common thing, and they have the options in there for like defaulting to third person when you're driving.
Right.
First person. How is it driving in first person with the mouse stuff?
It's a little back and forth because I mean A and D keys for driving is always going to be a little odd. Like I always prefer a controller for driving. But then again, I could now. One of the main complaints with first-person driving was that your field of view is so slim, even with it cranked all the way up. It's not as much as you like. But now, like I said, you can just use the mouse and you can look around much more freely, and it feels significantly better.
And I guess the problem as well is that when you're using accelerator and the brake, you can like throttle them, but you can't on a PC because they're just binary inputs.
Right.
Is there anything stopping you from just having like a controller off to one side and like
Nothing.
doing mouse and keyboard?
So that's what's really great. It is like, you can literally just have your controller off to the right and just pick that up, and it'll immediately switch back and forth. And that's going to go the same for, I haven't done it yet, I can't wait, which is like joystick. Or, I mean, I think maybe we have hopefully a driving steering wheel around the office. It'd be cool to see if that.
Whoa, that's a real fast car.
Yeah, so there's clearly 60 frames right there. Like, it looks good.
Is that just regular gameplay? It looks like it's sped up. That's amazing.
That's gameplay. We're just hauling ass.
Holy
right
hell. It's just Ty. Is that Ty playing right
live.
now?
Oh, this is live.
This is
Okay.
actually live gameplay.
Someone's
Jesus.
actually playing this.
It looks so
Good
different
job,
in
Ty.
60 frames a second. Jesus.
Yeah, it looks good.
I'm not sure if this is coming across on the live stream, depending on what your connection is. But
So
this
actually,
looks amazing.
and this was the system we used yesterday for the stream, but I had just tweaked this. So now we have, this would be high settings on texture.
Ty is always just beating up just random drifters in the aqueduct.
You can really see all the detail in their faces of their age and all the shit they've been through in their lives as he beats them.
Nice work, Ty. Another element then, you guys did a video on last week, is the director mode and the sort of all this crazy machinima stuff you can get involved in. Can you do that right off the bat? What's that? Do you think a lot of people are going to be using that? Like, it seems like a kind of a neat little feature for like people to put up cool YouTube videos, but like, do you think most people have like a compulsion to just make their own weird thing?
I think a good amount of people. I'm personally one of them. Like, immediately, just like you found yourself. We did the stream yesterday, and next thing I know, I'm like just zoning out, getting lost into like making your own video, changing the camera angle and such.
It's something that has a little bit of a learning curve. We noticed right away. He was just pushing all these buttons, and I was like, I have no idea what you're doing right now. You're going to have to explain. It turns out neither of us knew what we were talking about. But you learn. I think it's the kind of thing where you're going to spend 4 or 5 hours just kind of getting into it, figuring out what it is you actually want to make. This is us kind of tinkering with it for the very first time yesterday, and it's interesting. You make these little pieces, the markers in the footage that you've captured, and then for each of those markers, you have just so many options from what angle you want. If you want it slowed down, if you want to put an Instagram filter on there, and it was so good. Like we were looking for people. We're like, well, how do we get the angle just right on how you clipped that woman's ankle and flipped her over 6 times, and that. But, I mean, it went so fast. I think we spent 40 minutes easily on
Yeah.
a 20-second clip.
Really?
And it's not even a great clip. It's just
No, it's not.
it's just stupid.
Look at the clip this lady. Oh!
Yeah.
It's a typical
Hey, I
I
run
think
of
this is our final product.
Yeah.
So we have it slow down here and do
Whoa,
like
what
a camera
the hell?
360.
Right.
Did you end up spinning?
And then Instagram filter.
Right at the end.
That filter is called Normandy.
Nice.
Like World War II. It's pretty cool.
I think the exciting thing about that is not like any creation suite, right? Like even if you don't feel like spending the 4 hours, or you do and you make a dumb clip and you're like, well, that was fun. I'm
Yeah.
done with that forever. There are people out there that are going to make incredible things just because the tool is so neat. And I think one of the fascinating things about it that always stands out to me is how you can pick like any perspective within a certain area. You can have a bystander, you can have a security camera, you can have a bird.
Yeah.
Like you can, and because the thing, like one of the things I always love about GTA is trying to drive with cinematic camera view on. But I think it's going to be we'll see an incredible boon of machinima type stuff coming out.
We're gonna have like movie trailers done in GTA for the next like fucking 4 years, probably.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Definitely. You're gonna see stuff that has nothing to do with GTA either, which I think is always fascinating. Like we loved watching that with old GTA videos. Like there's like GTA 4 videos of people who are like having their own sets of problems. It's like an episode of 90210 in GTA's world, and that's like my favorite stuff. Like you don't have to be in the world of Los Santos. Like take me somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, like
Like go full Gary's mod, like all the GTA San Andreas when that like mod scene burst open. That was like all just from people breaking the game apart, and then there were people just making their own cities and stuff.
Right.
Like that'd be really cool if we had like city skyline type mods coming out for GTA. Where
And
you're just
there
like,
you go.
here's a new city.
That's another one of the most exciting things about having it on PC, mods,
Mods.
which is an unquantifiable at this point. But
Yes.
if history tells us anything, like we're gonna see some cool shit.
Yeah, down the
Excellent.
road, right?
You guys are obviously very excited for this. I want to hear, Chris, you've played GTA on old platforms.
Sure.
Do you have any like impetus to go back and play this on PC? Because it's been like the 2013 game. You
Yeah,
know,
it's been a while. Like I didn't beat the campaign of GTA 5. I played a little bit of online. I was tempted to get back into heists when I saw you guys eventually all having fun with it once it eventually worked out.
like
but
9 months later.
yeah, like just that time like I enjoy GTA, but it's not enticing me back. I mean, there's a lot of other games coming up, and in terms of like big open world things to spend a lot of time in, I mean, The Witcher is like a month away,
true.
you know, so like it's not going to entice me back, but I will click on a hell of GTA videos and watch
Totally.
them. Yes.
Great. All right. We're going to have that Geralt of Rivia mod for GTA 5 coming out any day now. That's Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC, finally. There was a time there when we didn't know if it was actually going to be released on PC, but it's out now. You can pick it up yourself. The review for GTA 5 on PC will be on GameSpot.com later this week, so make sure you check that out soon. We'll be back in a second. Mary, you're going to stay on. Rob, I know you played Guitar Hero Live. We're going to bust you out.
Good.
Get the fuck out of
He
here.
needs
I
to
don't
make
even
a
want to be here.
he needs to make a graphics comparison.
He does. He needs to
I do.
compare some mad
He's got no
graphs.
time.
We're going to get Justin Haywald on in a second, talk about Guitar Hero Live. So stick around. We'll be back in a second. First of all, here's a trailer for Titan Souls. Far out. Titanfall Souls.
Nope.
That's what it's called, right?
There's no
Doesn't sound
parkour
power.
in that game,
There's no
unless you count
parkour in it?
rolling around a lot.
That's not Titanfall 2?
Titanborn.
Titanborn? Is that what it's called?
Blood
We
Souls.
were originally going to have to pan this section out because there might have been a technical issue.
Yeah.
But we don't.
I think we're ship shape.
But you guys want to talk about people having random sex anyway? Because I kind of want to hear the end of this story. To be
Who
honest.
doesn't?
Justin Haywald.
So I was walking home last night. It was kind of late. Well, you started because you saw some people having sex in an alley.
Oh, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
That's coming.
So I was walking home on Geary.
So to speak.
Geary's a busy street here in San Francisco.
Sure is.
But it's a well-traveled street. There are always lots of people. I was walking home, glanced over in a doorway.
Geary and what? Don't have to be too specific.
Like close to Van Ness, not too far from Van Ness.
Okay, so relatively close to town.
Yeah, close to
Revisit
town,
the
in the
scene.
Tenderloin. Walk by, notice a bare ass, just like sticking, not like there's a big doorway,
Yeah.
and there's just kind of the steps. And I'm like, that's a naked ass, and I look away.
Wait, what time of day is this?
Around 11 p.m. midnight,
Right?
walking home. Look over, there's this big bare ass. I look away, I'm like, I'm not going to stare at this. I look again, like, no, just a completely naked woman,
Right.
either drunk or completely on drugs, who has been servicing a man who is also naked under a blanket.
Wow.
I was like, oh,
Wow.
that is, I just walked by.
That's pretty good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Francisco, the city of love.
There's a
It
lot of
happens
love.
everywhere, though. It
City of
happened in my hometown.
outdoor inappropriate love. Because Philadelphia is a city of brotherly love. Like Paris is a city of lights. I don't know.
Is it?
Someone is a city of
I don't know
love.
what my hometown is, but I once was walking past a, what do you guys call it? Like, we call them like clothes bin. It's where you like give clothes away, like charity. But it's like a big steel drum.
Yeah, it's like it's just like a big metal box
Yeah.
with like a clunk.
Yeah.
Throw your clothes in. Clunk.
Yeah, I don't need these clothes anymore.
Yeah.
My son's got off to college, whatever, put him in. So like it has one of these things, but it's been like broken into, and it's basically a place where like drunks in my hometown poop and maybe peep and maybe fall asleep sometimes.
So you don't want to donate clothes there.
No. People don't like donate clothes. This is one of these like clothes donation boxes that people go, nope, I'm gonna put it somewhere else because like the door's hanging out, whatever. So it's been there forever, and then suddenly.
Maybe they're donating their poopy and pee-pee.
Maybe that's what it is. They're probably thinking there's someone else who's less well off than me
Composting, I
who could use all
guess.
this fecal matter. But I'm walking past there and it's like 4 p.m. on a Wednesday or something. It's like school holidays. And I'm walking through this car park and it's like, it's during the working day, it's full of cars. It's like empty at night time. I'm walking past and I hear this like, ooh, 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 and I'm like, what the fuck? And I go over. It's like fucking like yellow exclamation mark over the thing. It's like a quest or something. I walk over and there's like, like a car's parked up against the like a jar door, and it's some dude who's like half naked and a girl half naked in this thing, and they're like, "You gotta get us out of here." And I'm like, "It's 4 p.m., which means the car's parked here." Like these are all people who are like going to work, so like they've been here for like the night before.
All
They're like,
right.
"Yeah, you're the only person that came by," because like a place we used to skateboard. So I had to ring the fire. Like, can you imagine being like 13-year-old boy ringing up the fire brigade and being like, "Yeah, I
Hello?
swear to God, I'm not lying, but there's 2 naked people in a clothes bank." In like a relatively
You know that bin that everyone poops in all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some people having sex in there.
So they
You
turn
gotta
up,
check it out.
I either like wait there. They send 3 fire trucks and they put like hydraulics underneath the thing because they can't move the car because the
Why not?
alarm will go off or some shit. I don't know. So they put like these like you know, like big plastic bags that like lift the thing up, and then so the door is over the top of the car, and they like open the door.
And then
this
these
is-
2 naked people birthed out of it.
Yeah,
Covered in other people's feces.
And birth.
So you accepted the quest. How much experience did you get?
I got nothing. I walked home and I was like, no one's gonna believe me. This is.
Well, you did parlay it into this story
That's
later,
true.
so you've kept it in your inventory.
There you go. 14 years later,
It all
we managed
works
to waste some time on a live stream, which is supposed to be about video game. All right, don't worry, we'll cut this whole part
It
out.
was a quest.
Oh my God, Grand Theft Auto 5 finally came out on PC, and would you believe it, Guitar Hero. Let's start that again.
Okay.
Yeah, we do
You're
it
gonna
again?
spin it
Yeah,
up again?
I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
why the segue
I
was
trust
going.
It's not live, is it? All right.
This is a mulligan.
Oh my God, Grand Theft Auto 5 came out on PC, and wouldn't you know it, Guitar Hero is coming back as well. Justin Hayward, Mary Kish. You all put up a video on GameSpot.com just this morning about Guitar Hero Live.
That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
That is the new game is Guitar Hero Live, the rebirth of guitar. I mean, this is like one of those worst kept secrets. People have known about this for a while, and not just because we also played it a couple weeks ago, but even before that. Like, we knew this was coming. We knew this was going
It's
to
similar
happen.
to the Rock Band stuff where
Yeah.
people kind of had an inkling, Harmonix were doing something. They announced a Rock Band, the new Rock Band's a thing.
But this is really
Activision
interesting.
doing it too.
Because Rock Band is literally bringing back Rock Band 4. All of the
Yeah.
songs you have, everything, all of your instruments, those are going to work with the new Rock Band, whereas Guitar Hero are going in a completely different direction. There's not only a new instrument, something completely different to buy, but the way that they're going to monetize the songs is also very different. We don't know too much about that, but it's a completely different model that they're going with.
We'll get into the monetization stuff in a moment. First of all, Mary, the guitar, how does it feel? It's like 3x2 or something now?
Yeah, it's totally different. The old one, it had 5 buttons that all went down the neck, which
Only
caused
the buttons
you...
are different. It's not totally different, right? It's literally
no.
just the buttons.
They've changed the
The
guitar
strum thing,
shape
it
as
looks
well.
pretty much the same.
Do you still do the
The strum is the same, so
Okay.
the little taparoo is the same. But before you probably noticed, I mean, they had like a million different guitars. They had stickers. They did all this customization crap. I mean, all that's different. They're not doing any of that this time. It is just this guitar, and it has a 2x3 grid of the buttons instead of 5 buttons down the neck. And
3x3.
and
2x3.
2
No,
by
you're
3.
right. Math.
Yes.
3 by there's 2.
And
There's 3.
I'm just gonna keep going.
Some of them are
2 rows
white,
of 3.
some of them are black. Is that
That's right.
on the when it comes down the screen? It's like
That's right.
Okay.
So you could think of it as like maybe makeshift chords is maybe what they're trying to convey a little bit better. Because with the 5, the only thing that you had to do you had to move your pinky down to hit that 5th button. But now, so you see this one's all white. The white is farther away and black is closer to you, I believe. So what happens is now it looks like easy, right? I mean, when we first saw this, you think of it and you're like, well,
Yeah.
now there's only 2 colors. You simplified it. You made it easier. You actually made it easier, but it's not. It's difficult for your brain to understand that if it's white, black, white,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have to make
down,
a chord.
up.
This is on easy mode, so
Yeah, we
you're
haven't
looking
seen
at
a chord here yet, right?
Yeah,
Because
no.
this just looks like one note at a time.
This is trying to get you into the concept of, all right, so now I'm on the buttons that are farther away. Now I'm at the buttons closer to me.
Well, and while we're into this, what the goddamn hell is happening here in the background? This
Yeah,
looks like
they
nothing.
changed the background.
This is like
as
FMV, goddamn, like you pretend. Look at that guy. Looks like
Listen, they
Corn.
wanted to bring you into the rock experience by making you act like a creeper with a GoPro at a concert.
You're the guitarist at a concert. It's interesting in some ways, like this crowd stuff, the stuff you're seeing now, where you're looking at the crowd. That's actually kind of cool and exciting. I don't know that I'd want to see
Is
it
it?
every time.
There's a banana in there if you find him. There's like a guy in a banana suit.
Oh, really?
We were joking earlier, like there's gotta be at least one person who like showed a wiener.
yeah, there's got to be a dick
that
wad in there
hasn't been
somewhere.
found. I mean, in the history of having extras that you pay $20 to stand there for hours, someone's going to show something gross, but there is no proof of that yet. I mean, I'll tell you, I edited this video, so I've seen that crowd a lot.
You were looking for it.
And it already got old to me.
Oh, really?
It is the same thing, right?
It's part of like an intro as well. Like every level, you're like
there's
before
like
you go out. There's
long
like a preamble.
intro. It's like 60 seconds
Could that
long.
be something that they only did for you guys because it's
Yeah.
like a press thing and
think
they're just
so.
like hamming it up a bit?
I mean, there's no way they wouldn't let us skip that
Yeah.
later
Yeah.
because who wants to see that every
Yeah.
time? But it's like, you see these same people. It is, I'm not going to lie, I mean, it does give you butterflies. You get excited about it, but
So they were-
who knows?
They were saying that they recorded something different for every song. I didn't notice that when we were playing here. There are different venues, and that there's also going to be different bands. Like they're going to be themed with what you're
Yes.
playing with.
And there's also good and bad like videos.
right.
So it does it.
Like when you fuck up,
Yeah.
it's gonna like the crowd is not gonna be happy with you. Your drummer's not gonna be like, oh yeah, you're doing really awesome. He's gonna be like, you suck, you piece of shit. What are you doing? Pick up your guitar.
It's fascinating how different it is. Obviously, this is the good version. Everyone's stoked to see you. They're like super happy about
Yeah.
everything that you're doing. But when it is bad, it's almost it's almost you feel bad when you're playing if you catch a glimpse of it because your entire band looks at you like you destroyed their career, that this was their big break. It looks like you're gonna break up on stage.
But then the thing about these is like you're probably just so badly concentrating on like
totally.
the things.
I didn't notice
Yeah.
any of it
Let's-
when I was playing, and I was awful.
Is there
at
a no
first.
fail mode where they're like, it's okay, buddy. You're doing all right,
Well, you don't
even though you're
actually
doing
fail out.
terribly.
You don't fail out in any of that. It's just that you're not doing that well. It's
Okay.
a constant reminder that you kind of suck. One thing, and I don't know anything about this, one thing that I kind of conjecture they're going to do with this, because they were very hesitant to talk more about what kind of bands they're using and what those people are doing. I bet for at least one of those songs, they're going to have a really,
Real
like
band.
a famous band, you're going to play with them, like a Green Day or like somebody like that, and you're going to be on stage with
DLC
them.
baby. Don't give that stuff away for free.
So, well, that's the interesting thing is that DLC is going to be handled very differently in this. Like, so the main game, because they took so long filming each and every performance, apparently, we don't know how many songs that's going to be. in order to pad it out, there's not going to be a Guitar Hero Live 2016. There's not going to be another disc version of this.
Activision aren't going to annualize one of their franchises?
Well, instead they're going to make a
The
subscription
apocalypse is coming! Flying pigs. Sorry.
It might be worse to have a subscription service. I'm
Right, yeah.
hesitant. There is a free version of this, like what's it called, it's Guitar Hero TV, where you can tune in and play the game.
Yeah, you don't even need a console for this necessarily, right? They're bringing this out on PS4 and Xbox One and whatnot, but there's just
also
going to be a
mobile.
version you can stick on your TV, right?
They haven't announced officially what everything's on, but they told us, yes, it is going to be a mobile game that you can literally plug into your TV and play it right off of your phone as if it was an Xbox One, like no different.
And this like live element, because there's like the ones that they've clearly like shot all these crowd stuff for, but there's like some sort of a service where you basically like tune into almost like old MTV music video channels where there was like a bunch of different channels and they're just playing songs and you play
Constantly streaming. I mean, think
videos,
of it,
just music videos, right?
Just music videos. Think of it like you would cable. So you'll have two channels that are constantly going 24 hours a day.
Just random songs
with random songs, and they're going to be
programming.
And programming, and then if you want to pay for the
by
subscription.
programming, you mean what?
So the example they gave is like on Friday nights, maybe at 8 p.m., that's our rock block. And so if I tune in Friday at 8 p.m., they're going to be playing some rock songs. I don't know exactly what songs, but I'll get to listen and play. Yeah. Here's the genre that I like.
Great.
Genre
Creedence for an hour or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they totally
all
could do that.
Beatles all day on one channel, and then if you have the subscription service, you get access to a whole bunch of other channels that'll have maybe more specified towards your liking. That way, you can kind of just fine tune it in case there's something on the regular channels that's just not
grindcore.
And that's
24
where
hours a day.
That's where the comparison to cable gets a little like dark to me, because I mean, we've seen what's happening with cable. I mean, for years it's been you get the basic package, you get the bigger package, you get the deluxe package, you get the super mega package, but that increasingly consumers are trying to find a way to not do that.
Yeah.
Are trying to find a way to get their content elsewhere, to not pay the subscription fees, to not like be locked in like, oh, if I want to get my Green Day channel, I have to pay this tier.
Yep.
So, will they go a la carte with it? Will it be that kind of cable tier that is getting such backlash in the network programming?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to follow any company's model, it probably shouldn't be Comcast. If we've learned anything about making people happy, you should be able to give people exactly what they want without making them pay for shit they don't. And we don't know what that is because they have not brought in any of that stuff yet. I think that's like an E3 thing that they're going to talk about more.
Yeah, because they're going to talk about what songs are in the game as well.
That's right. Yeah, we don't know what the songs in the actual game are, and that's like a huge chunk of it for me personally, because you know, if I'm going to be playing through with my character and growing them and stuff, I want to make sure like the songs in the actual game campaign are fun.
That's the first
and
thing that people used to do when I worked in retail was they'd pick up the game, they'd flip over the side of the box and read what the songs were on it.
Yeah.
And then for a while it was like Rock Band Guitar Hero, and you'd like, oh, this one's got Tool, great, I'm going to go for that one. Like that was like the main sort of the decision point between them.
On the positive end, since it is just streaming music, you technically have access to anything they're able to license, which is, like, on the flip side, is kind of a cool thing that I don't have to think about, like, I need to buy all of these songs because I spent so much money on Rock Band back in the day, like an embarrassing amount of money.
But then the thing about Rock Band, at least, is that you've got, even if you've spent all this money on all those songs, you can play them on guitar, on bass, on drums. You can sing them. Guitar Hero, the new one, it's just guitars, right?
Well, I don't think it's going to be just guitar.
Really?
Like, there's at least got to be vocals, and I think there's going to be bass. Right now, like when we were talking, like right now we're only talking about guitar. There's not going to be drums, definitely. And I wager like 75%. There's going to be bass. There has to be vocals.
75% of what? Like your wage?
Yeah, 75% of the money that I make in a day.
$50.
Like nothing.
Take it or leave it.
I think I have a quarter in my pocket.
See, that's as somebody who I predominantly played those games for the drums. Like I started off playing guitar stuff, but then like drums was my thing. So like that's kind of like a big.
So you
So
got
is that a
yourself
deal
some
breaker?
Guitar Hero World Tour drums and some Rock Revolution drums
They
up
didn't
in there.
make the move across the Atlantic. Funnily enough, they're all stuck in London somewhere.
No, and that's why I prefer Rock Band still. Like the guitar on Guitar Hero is always better. Like it's a better piece of kit, and I'm kind of disappointed that this new one is not going to transfer over because it's 3 buttons by 3 buttons, like 3 on top, 3 on the bottom. That doesn't transfer over to the 5-button neck guitar.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have to keep using my old Guitar Hero guitar. But I love playing drums, and I love singing it. Like that's what I do in Rock Band. Guitar is fun, but like you, like drums are the fun part. Getting to sing in a fake band, it's like karaoke.
I'm the opposite. I liked Guitar Hero because I liked focusing on one thing and being good at it.
Yeah.
I liked finding a song that I enjoyed. If it was like one by Metallica, and you just play it again and again and again until you're the best, and you play it on expert mode, and then you show off for your friends when you have a party, and then when they want you to play something else, you say, oh no, I'm bored now, and then you let someone else play, so you don't embarrass yourself. That's my system. You play something good, and that's why I need to know what the campaign list and songs are, because I don't want to wait for that song to come up on live. I don't want to wait for my cool song to come up. I want that campaign song to be good, so that I know that I can really show how awesome I can be at one particular thing.
That's crazy.
Focus.
They're going to have an a la carte option of some type, but what is the right price model for you? Like, what would you pay for that would make, or what would make that worth it?
That's such a confusing thing too. Like, you can like iTunes me. Am I going to pay 99 cents per song here?
That's the way it used to be.
I mean, that's the way Dance Central.
It's the way Rock Band was.
Is on Xbox One now.
There was that PlayStation
game is $10, and then you download a bunch of other stuff.
Remember that PlayStation karaoke game that came out?
No, PlayStation was.
Def Jam Rap Star.
I wish. No,
It's Xbox.
The downloadable one, the service one that came out just about a year ago or so. Like that type of model. I guess it's just the world of music has changed fundamentally as well.
Yeah.
It's weird though how like Guitar Hero is now going to be basically one instrument again, and that's Rock Band's niche again. Is like, no, it's not just you playing one guitar; it's the whole Rock Band.
And it's $100. Like, whether you buy it on a mobile
Wait,
device
for Guitar Hero with the guitar.
Guitar Hero with the guitar and the version of the game, whether you buy it on PS4 or whether you buy it on
TV
mobile.
or mobile, yeah.
Like, you're basically buying that hardware. Is that too much? Like, is that the right price? Especially when you know, Rock Band is going to come out at like ostensibly a cheaper price because it's not going to have any hardware.
That's a hefty asking price. I remember the first time I bought this, the first time Guitar Hero ever came out in college. You're looking at what, like $75 for the game and the guitar. I remember in college I was like, oh, like this is like I'm gonna eat ramen now for the next 3 weeks. Like this better be great.
You get to rock out while you eat ramen.
It was one of the best purchases I made in college. I have zero regrets about buying it, which is why I'm like a little apprehensive about saying like, whoa, that's a lot of money. It doesn't matter if it's worth it, and you don't know if it's not worth it yet because that game was like the mecca of every party I was ever at for like 2 years.
Well, that was about 6 or 7 years ago, so we'll have to find out if that's going to be the same again. In 2015, E3 is when they're going to announce all the new songs. Hopefully we'll have some more information about the price points and stuff like that, but we'll have to wait and see.
And hopefully they'll show off the VR headset version of that crowd, because that would be cool.
Yeah. Back in the
be weird.
Backstage.
You just play and just like stare at the one dude who's in the front the whole time.
So awkward.
Psych him out.
Flick your cigarettes at the crowd.
Rob was telling me in the demo, we were with all the developers, and he was like, how like realistic are these intros where you're like in the room and backstage with all the people? He's like, is there like a big bowl of cocaine and you like do a bunch of it and then go out on set and freak out?
That's how you raise your star power meter.
Yeah.
That's DLC.
That's DLC. Exactly.
Downloadable cocaine.
We'll be back in a second. A bunch of stuff. It's weird talking about Grand Theft Auto and Guitar Hero. Next, we're going to talk about Mortal Kombat. It's like video games are just forever changing, but always the same. We'll have Peter Brown and Jeff Gerstmann, if he's back from recording Bombcast on the set in just a minute. First of all, though, I love this. Wild Season, I have literally no idea what the hell this is. Is this a good trailer, Mary?
I don't know. I found it 5 minutes before we went live because I forgot that I needed to get trailers.
Great. Let's check it out.
Workflow.
Let's check it out. I wish my sideborns flowed. Did I say sideborns?
You did. You did say
I've been
that.
playing too much Bloodborne.
Have you been playing a lot of Bloodborne?
Yeah.
Like lately?
I played that Father Gascoigne dude.
Yeah.
I was away all weekend, and I had them Bloodborne cravings. And on Monday morning, I woke up at like 7 in the morning and just streamed a bit of Bloodborne. And I had Father Paul Gascoigne.
Yeah.
Do you know who Paul Gascoigne is?
No.
Is this a soccer joke?
It's a soccer joke.
Cool.
Thank you. I killed him first time, though.
Nice work.
I got so
Yeah.
close. His health
Oh,
was
really?
like down to like 10%.
That
I
happened
killed
to me on the
Cleric
first,
Beast?
Cleric Beast. But I hear you killed Gascoigne first.
No.
Oh, was it not? Oh, Tay was telling me somebody killed Gascoigne first. They like skipped the Cleric Beast
Yeah.
and went straight to
Oh.
Gascoigne, that's pretty tough.
He's a tough
He's
one.
a son of a bitch. He's way harder in his first form. When he stops using the gun as like a werewolf dude, and I had the music box, so it was way
I
easier.
don't even know what this music box is everyone's talking
Just play it and he fucking goes, ah!
And you like knock on a door to find
Oh,
it or
jeez.
something?
Yeah, there was a red lantern with a little girl there, and she was like, "My daddy, we've gone to find him. We don't know where mummy is. Have this music box."
No, she's her daddy.
Yeah.
He's the dad that always says, "Oh, this dad's finished" when he gets killed. No.
Oh, God. This dad's finished.
And by the looks of
This
my
dad's finished.
cool, and by the looks of my looking in the cemetery afterwards, mommy ain't coming back either.
Ooh.
Yeah, that game gets kind of easier. That's not easier, but maybe easier.
I've heard it's got like a pretty steep incline to begin with, and then it tapers off.
Okay, it
But what
felt
do I
that
know?
way.
I'm still at Father Gascoigne.
I've got some asshole with a.
I'm way
50
past
cal,
all you
just-
guys. Oh
Are
yeah,
you?
that dude in the
Yeah, I'm
wheelchair.
fighting him now.
Nice.
He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I hear the only way to kill him is to knock him off.
Oh
the top
no
of
no
that
no no.
thing.
Okay, there's that other guy who's not in the wheelchair yet.
You guys
Wait,
keep
do I
making
kill
all
the
this
dude
up,
who's in
and
my-
I wouldn't even know.
Hunt by. What's
No
it
no
called?
no no no
I
no.
don't kill him.
I don't know. Maybe later.
I hear the dude with the chainsaw. You can or chain gun. You
He's a
you
pain in
just
the
have
ass.
to knock him off the edge of the thing.
That's
all
how I
think.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just run up in his face, shove him off a ledge.
Mary shoved him off the ledge, fell with him, died, but still got the kill.
Got to recover the blowchos.
Yeah, she got all those blowjobs. She got all those. What are they? Cold mountain dews. Cold.
Mundu Blood
cold,
Echoes.
Mountain cold blood.
That's what our society would look like if the Souls games were Halo level.
if they had like
They just don't sell that much,
thematic.
alas.
They sold a million
Inclusion.
copies already.
Halo sells that
1
much on
million,
like a
Chris?
Tuesday, 8 months after launch. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad Bloodborne has sold well because that's a fun game.
Don't lie to me.
Jeff's here.
What?
Bombcast stopped recording.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Gersman's here.
A wild Gersman
How you
appeared.
doing? In between what?
Here you go.
Cue the Gersman theme music.
Eric Tay, I don't know why you make freaking out about
He was
it.
hollering for the mic that I went to grab.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh.
I got a
I'm not
crew
even gonna
credit
run the
on
microphone
show
up
now.
my shirt.
Whoa!
That's how
Whoa!
slapdash this is.
Disrespect.
Yeah.
You don't even respect our setup here.
We're recording the real show upstairs.
Upstairs.
So,
Nope.
whatever
Ain't no
this
video in
is.
that show.
Exactly.
You know, guys can't even afford that.
Audio games.
Audio.
a list.
God damn it.
Check them out.
Jeff Christmas here.
Hello.
Peter Brown's here.
Hey.
Both of y'all have been playing a bunch of Mortal Kombat X on various platforms. Thank you.
Yeah.
I said that was Exhibit 2 weeks ago. It's a DMX thing, isn't it?
No. X.
Oh, that's X. X-Pac?
X.
X, yeah. Oh, yeah. I said
That's
X
the song.
gon' give it to you.
Yeah,
I
that's-
said
that's
was-
DMX.
That's DMX.
Yeah.
I'm sorry once again, Exhibit and DMX. Mortal Kombat X.
Avid fans.
Before we get into this DLC skimmy that's been sort of people have been freaking out today, Jeff, first of all, what do you think about Mortal Kombat X in the pantheon of Mortal Kombat games? How is it?
I like it. I think it's something that's, it's really hard to follow up on the last game because the last game is a reboot that is retelling the parts of the story that you care about with the characters you care about. You know, kind of the last game was just Mortal Kombat's 1 through 3 served at you again, and that's rad. So naturally, anything going past that is it's got a really hard act to follow. And they bungled it last time in MK4 and 5 and 7 and 8 and all that other
Shadow
stuff.
Monks
And Shadow Monks was cool. But, they're doing a much better job this time around than they did in like the PS2 and Xbox era with their story in terms of like characters they're creating as new characters and just, what they're doing to the fighting and stuff like that. It's derivative of the last game in a lot of ways and like how it plays and stuff like that, but it feels good. The new characters are cool.
I remember you guys had Ed Boon on the show, one of your live shows last year. You talked on the Bombcast later on about how like they're going to bring in all these sort of children of other characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
How does that feed into the story? Like, is it a good story? Should you care about the story in a Mortal Kombat game ultimately?
The story's all right. So there are 8 new characters. 4 are kind of the good guys, and then 4 are kind of bad guys. And the 4 good guys kind of traipse around and are in the right place at the right time. And the bulk of the story, like the bulk of the pivots in the story, kind of seems to hang on those 4 descendants of old fighters. And towards the end of it, it gets a little like Wesley Crusher for my taste, where they're just like they're there doing all the heavy lifting, and you're like, I kind of like Scorpion.
Yeah, right.
Like Cassie Cage is cool, but Scorpion's a crazy hell demon with the mask and the stuff. And so yeah, I like Kenshi's son Takeda, probably the best out of the new characters, or those 4 characters.
From a story perspective or from a fighting perspective?
Both. Both, yeah. And then Aaron Black, I think, is probably the best new character, like gameplay-wise. I think he's pretty cool.
Yeah. Shifting from the story to the gameplay, the bulk of that game is beating the living shit out of people. How have you been enjoying it, Peter?
Oh, it's good that you asked me that because I don't really care that much about Mortal Kombat's story. And I tried to give this one a shake, didn't love it. But as a fighting game, I do really like it. It has, all these sort of layered mechanics that you would hope for that give people sort of, nuanced strategies and ways to fight. And it succeeds at that pretty well. Like, I haven't noticed any real balance issues or anything like that. And it's fun to play. It's not as stiff in my experience as the last Mortal Kombat game. Yeah. So that's great for me because that was one thing that was always a turnoff. And now I find myself able to kind of get into the flow a little bit easier, even if I haven't already mastered a character. I need to make a point of clarification, though.
Go for it.
Which camera do I have? Which is me? Right here. Last week on the lobby, I said something about gore in Mortal Kombat, wishing that there could have been an option to turn it off. That doesn't mean I don't like the gore. I find it funny. Just want to clarify that right now before you guys jump on me in the comments, but the full review goes live in a couple days.
Can you turn off the gore?
No.
Why would you turn off the gore?
Well, I think that there are a lot of things Mortal Kombat offers that are beyond the gore.
Yeah.
A great fighting game, and if you want to look at the story mode, you can say this fantastical world that is filled with crazy characters. And maybe some people would be upset at the gore. I'm not going to knock the game for not having an option to turn it off. I think it could benefit from it, but because it doesn't have it, that doesn't detract from that stuff. But if you play the game a lot, right, the only scene where there's the only scene outside of fighting where there's like explicit, like really bad gore is a scene where someone's about to be beheaded. The gore always is just sort of like next to everything in this game. It's not part of the universe as much, unless I'm misremembering some things. But yeah, like you don't see stuff like this in the story mode, So it just sort of seems to be...
Yeah, you can't do fatalities in the fights in story mode.
Right.
It doesn't give you the option.
Sure,
so.
yeah, so it's all just like tacked on, and that's fine, but what that says to me is that you could still have this game without that for someone who doesn't want it.
Well, what do you think about the X-rays? I mean, the X-rays are, the ultra moves, basically. They do a lot of damage, and in some cases, those are as violent as a lot of the fatalities.
Oh, I'd say more brutal, because you get that sort of, the slowdown and that moment of impact, and you hear the person, like, moan.
It's slowed down, so it's this low pitch.
It's so painful. But, like, I find this stuff entertaining. Like, yeah, it's shocking, but that's kind of what it is, right? So... Anyway, I just wanted to point that out.
No worries.
Just because I feel like it could be handled differently doesn't mean I don't like it.
That's what they seem to be showing off. Like, obviously, this is the stuff that looks best in trailers, looks best in gameplay. They were, like, teasing out all these fatalities and what characters in the game and whatnot. What is the loop of Mortal Kombat? Are you unlocking characters? Are you unlocking the fatalities? Because, like, in the previous games, like, the classic Mortal Kombat thing was always the discovery of... like the movesets, the discovery of the fatalities, and in the internet age, that doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right. Yeah.
So what are you actually doing, Jeff, to like, as you're going through the game, like what is the new content coming through? Is it just a campaign?
I mean, you're playing through the story mode. There are a lot of different ways to play. There are random modifiers you can deploy that's like quick recovery, or you have infinite super meter and the other guy has none, and just like weird stuff like that you can do to kind of alter the game. But in terms of just like progression, like you've got your character level, you're leveling up and gaining XP. You get your faction level. There's a whole faction metagame where when you first boot it up, you pick one of 5 factions, and all of your stuff contributes to that faction. And then as you level up in that faction, you gain access to faction kills, which are like short fatalities that are all universal. They're not character specific, they're faction specific. And those almost look like old MK fatalities where it's like, I chopped him in half, and then didn't follow it up with like, and then diced him up and drank his blood, So those feel like classic in a weird way. And then you're also earning coins to unlock stuff in the crypt, which they've had time and time again. This time the crypt is a little bit crazier. You have an inventory, you find items, and But you're still generally just unlocking like a lot of concept art and music, but also costumes, the motions to do the additional finishers.
Okay.
Uh,
second
brutalities.
as well.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, brutalities is the other. That's the other new.
Well, but you also get those awards, right?
Yes, yeah, you can get. You build your
get those
combat card, your background, your titles, and all that other stuff.
Right, like Street Fighter.
Yeah, but those have buffs associated with them. So
Oh,
some
right.
of them you unlock by just like leveling up.
Yeah.
You'll be like, I'm level 50 in my. I am level 50 in the Lin Kuei.
Okay.
Thank you. And so I can get
What
like.
faction did you pick?
White Lotus.
Okay. Yeah. No.
See, I was going to pass judgment, but then I was like, that's not the right thing to do. He's a good guy. I'll respect his choice.
Lin Kuei all day.
Look at you, dumping on me.
Lin Kuei all day.
No, lesson
Lin Kuei all
learned.
day.
Lesson learned.
God damn it. Tay seems to
Tay was
Tay
number.
is-
He's not anymore. He was number 1 in the Lin Kuei
Really?
faction. I was number 2.
Wow.
So
Sorry, Tay. Tay's Lin Kuei all day. Well, he's not
yeah,
anymore.
and
so.
yeah, you're leveling up that stuff. But yeah, you're also building. So there are buffs associated with it. So the border you equip on your little like nameplate.
Right.
They can give you additional coins to unlock more stuff in the crypt. They can give you additional faction XP, or depending on what you equip. So you kind of build those things accordingly to what you're trying to work towards.
At any point, did they sort of, you're talking about a lot of unlockables. Some are cosmetic, some are you use them in combat, extra fatalities and stuff. At any point, does that feel like a legit carrot on a stick to keep playing, or do you basically just need the core motivation to enjoy the combat and want to continue fighting to stay interested?
Well, I don't know. Like Mortal Kombat is one of those games, like because the lore has been so loved by people over the years, and people are drawn in by the fatalities, and then sometimes they find more there to like. I think that's led to a situation where you have a lot of people coming to Mortal Kombat that are not big fighting game players. So
Yeah, I'm kind of in that camp, actually.
yeah.
Like, I've played
So it's
all the
like,
modern Mortal Kombat games.
so it's great that they have this big long story mode, and even if it isn't as long or as good as the last one, it's still great that they're doing that because they're kind of providing something for that type of player.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, to stick with it for a real length of time, you're going to want to care about the fighting. You can care about it at multiple levels. You can go try to be in tournaments and try to do all that stuff. Or you can just find a group of friends that are all around the same skill level and enjoy it on that level too. I think it can work kind of across the board there, but yeah, you kind of have to care enough about the fighting to make it last.
Let's talk about the coins for a second. I was talking to you this morning about this. When you guys were playing, it seemed to be like pretty fast. You were getting a lot of coins. You were unlocking stuff in the crypt. Since there's been like a patch come out since people had
A lot of people are talking about this.
It's unverified,
and
yeah.
Okay.
So when we got discs, there was a patch already live on the PS4. So you put it into patches just like any other game would when it has a patch. It hasn't done a hard patch like that since, but there are a lot of numbers and variables that they can adjust without shipping a proper like PS4 level patch.
Well, they told me there was a patch that was rebalancing story mode.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
said live.
So yes, originally story mode was actually way harder than it is now.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so they can make balance changes on the fly as well. So like the tournament they had last weekend, some people discovered that like there's some stuff in there that like is out of balance. They can make those balance corrections without having to go
Push a
through
patch out
a
to-
full patch process
Yeah.
and QA and all this other stuff. They can tweak the numbers, ship it out. So it's possible that they could tweak the numbers on how many coins you get out of things.
Yeah.
And that's the story right now, is
but
that you get like 1/16 of the coins that you used to get. But it's unverified. Like it's a thing that I'm actually going to go after the lobby, go check out with an unpatched version of the game. Like keep the PS4 offline, see what I can do, and match that up. But the bigger problem is that you earn coins, and these coins you use to spend in the crypt to unlock all these tombs, whatever, that have something behind them, but you don't know what. You
Yeah.
really have no way of
It's
identifying.
the same for everyone, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yes,
It is.
there will be a fact that says here are the
Yeah.
100 crypts in here that you should actually open because they give you something gameplay relevant.
Right.
And then here's the stuff that's all concept art. Like that's
Okay.
MK9 was the same way.
Yeah.
And so when you play story mode, like they'll give you chunks of coins. Like in the beginning, you do kind of go in there and you can walk around and spend some stuff, get some new things. When you're in the crypt itself, you find new items that unlock new areas. They'll give you here's like 10,000 coins, but all of that doesn't really add up to a lot. When a lot of there are probably 100 or more. 100 I think is an underestimation. These tombs, and some of them are like 7,000, 6,000. When there's so many of those, ultimately you get to the point where the game stops holding your hand, and you have to start earning those coins. you really don't earn that many coins by just playing any of the modes, really.
Yeah, which is a big change from MK9. Like clearing the story mode in MK9 gave you enough coins to probably unlock half of the crypt.
Really?
If you were doing it right.
Yeah, so now
because some of them you open up, you get more coins when you
Right,
open up some
yeah.
of them. So if you're picking right and know what you're looking for, play through the story mode, you can get everything you want.
And they've been pretty aggressive with their DLC stuff. I remember seeing you playing last week, and there's literally a picture of Goro right there.
It's the
and
main
like,
thing on the screen.
That's
is
the filthy stuff.
Purchase Goro.
So the filthy thing is that, if they did do this patch to reduce the number of coins, they're selling unlock the entire crypt for $20.
Right.
Right.
And now, so
On top of the
beating,
game.
beating story
On top of
mode,
the game.
beating
On top
story
of-
mode allowed
On
me
top
to
of the
unlock
story, on top of the season pass.
Yeah, yeah.
beating story mode allowed me to lock less than 10% of what is in the entire crypt.
Oh, wow.
So I would have to play this game ad nauseum to unlock things that I don't really know what they are.
Right.
And when it's a piece of shitty fan art, you feel like a dick. You feel like you've just been screwed with.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so for them to offer this as kind of an incentive, like, oh cool, I could just bypass all that. But then you got to factor in like, okay, well, what if you want the characters that are coming with this game, right?
Right.
You're going to be dropping $50 to, like, for the 4 characters. There's a few characters in the game that have movesets that have AI that really should be here. Anyway, you have to pay.
Yeah, Baraka's like in the game, right?
There's a lot of content right now you have to
Yeah.
pay a lot of money for to access, and the game is just out. And that feels really shitty, especially when you're fighting these characters in some sense, and it's like, well, they're here.
Yeah, like Goro was the pre-order bonus and is also theoretically available for sale. Like when I hit it on the PlayStation 4, it just says push X to purchase Goro right on the character select screen when you try to select him, and it takes you to the store. But the item to buy actually isn't live yet, so
Right.
you can't buy them. I mean, at least when I checked this morning, maybe it's finally fixed. But so it was just a pre-order bonus. I got a code for it and unlocked Goro. The other problem is on the PS4. I downloaded Goro at home. There's no way to download Goro right now elsewhere. So I came in and tried to download it again.
Like,
Can't do it.
All right.
You go to the PS4 library, go to hit the Mortal Kombat X thing. It says 2 add-ons. I go in, but it doesn't
just shows
actually
the
show the
game
list. It's just the
screen.
game screen, and my add-ons
Right.
no longer show. So I was able to download the Blue Steel Sub-Zero skin that I paid $2 for. Again.
You paid what? $2?
$2.
Great.
But that one's a little. They're putting some of that money into the prize pool for like the ESL finals or something like that. It's like, okay,
feels
I
a
guess.
little less
Why
dirty.
not? Why
Is that
not?
clear at purchase point?
I don't know if it's in that text or not. They've said it. They've said as much.
Get that samurai pack.
That Samurai pack only comes with the season pass.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like they could have made it easier for you to feel rewarded for your skill while playing this game, to then enjoy unlocking things in the crypt, rather than making it a slog to the point where you feel like, you know what, I don't care, I'm just going to pay $20 and feel like a sucker.
And I'm never going to do that. That's something that you can, there will be a FAQ that says here's where the stuff that you should care about in the crypt is, and you should just take that route and unlock what you need to unlock. To me, the kind of sad part about all this, games get over monetized. I actually like this game, and it's over monetized in a weird way. And for me, the spiritual kind of crushing thing is the easy fatalities.
Right, yeah.
So that's something you find some of them in the crypt, and they're consumable items that let you just. It's the dev controls that you would hold block and hit triangle to do a fatality,
or to square,
or
something,
square to do a fatality. And when the game was in development, that's just how it was.
Yeah.
And that's been like that, I think, in previous games
really?
as well, where it's just like they have easy fatalities on during development, so that they can show it at E3 and quickly show people fatalities and all that sort of stuff. So every time I played the game prior to release, that was how you did the fatalities. And now they're in there as a consumable item, not only as things you find in the crypt, because whatever, if you find them in the game, you don't need to do it. But then
Use those tokens for them or something.
yeah, they will sell them to you. You can buy 30 for $5. So the game has consumables.
For a mechanic that you can just
you can just do.
Yeah, that presumably in an action replay or something would have unlocked in the past.
Well,
Or that would have been a cheat code in the game
Yeah.
previously.
And it's different than just additional content, right? This is actually something that they're providing you, and then essentially keeping guarded.
Yeah.
Right? And then you don't come across them very often in the game, so you kind of get that taste. And I mean, what the hell?
The fatalities are not that difficult to do.
They're
so
not.
it's
No.
a situation where it's you don't really get a taste.
Right.
I used one and went
No, but I mean, they give them to you, right? So people who maybe
Sure,
would
yes,
appreciate them,
right, yeah. Right.
They have that option, but then it's sort of taken away because they
you only get
exhaust it.
8 or whatever.
I mean, why is it that the game has to do that to you? Why can't you just have the option anytime if that's the way you want to do your fatalities?
And it's if I can just just go full on old man here for a second.
Go for it.
Like,
I'd love it.
We used to just pass scraps of paper, scrawled fatalities and stuff back and forth at an arcade. Like you'd print stuff out. Eventually, like the internet became enough of a thing that it's like I was like skipping school to print out supposed lists of fatalities
just stick 'em
and
on
go
the-
to the pizza
yeah.
place and
Yeah.
see which ones worked and which ones didn't, and then report back and go, "No, these are all fake." And then strategy guides came along, and it became like, well, now there's an official strategy guide. You can buy it and get all the stuff. Like the secrets are kind of gone, but you didn't have to buy the strategy guide. You could still go through that process and be on the internet and do this sort of stuff. And now it's a consumable item that you can do it cheat code style for $5 for 30, and like
For a
I'll
series
grant
that's
you
so
like
much about its fans, like, this
exactly
feels so-
Yeah.
for a series that's so entrenched, like something like Evolve, when it gets knocked for DLC, you're just like, well,
It's a modern. It's a product of a modern era.
yeah, exactly. Like Mortal Kombat is a game that you would think is popular enough to sell numbers without being nickel and dime to death like this, and
especially
that's,
like with such a core fan base.
yeah, and it's like I like what's on the disc. Like if you ask me, like, you know, hey, $60 for this, like review this, what do you think? Like that, it's cool. You know, it has some issues. It doesn't hit quite as hard as the last game did. They made some improvements to the fighting, and that's great. But then it's like all this little stuff around it.
And you have to go out of your way to avoid it. Like you run into it at every single turn. Buy this, buy that.
And
I couldn't believe the main menu with the shot of
Oh, it's
Thor.
fun.
and after you've already bought that stuff, that thing's still
Oh, you're
stays
kidding, really?
there,
Oh,
you
because
know?
it leads
It's like
to every bit of DLC.
Yeah, it just
Right,
brings
that
up
you
the,
can
the
get.
overall store, and so, yeah, like Mortal Kombat should be better than this.
Yeah.
It should be able to kind of stay above this kind of nasty stuff, but here it is, and it's a bummer.
Our full review on GameSpot for Mortal Kombat X. We've got a review in progress up. When's the full one going to be?
The plan right now is later tomorrow, but I'm also doing some stuff with GTA 5 PC because I'm going to be updating that review. So it may be Thursday, but sometime Wednesday or Thursday for sure.
Cool. And Jeff, on Giant Bomb, when you guys kind of have your review posted?
I've played enough online to know that the netcode is kind of suspect and maybe not what it needs to be. But at the same time, like there's this whole concept of like faction invasions and stuff that is just, you can't select it on the menu. I'm trying to figure out what that even is.
Right.
Like I had to send an email and go like, what is the deal with this thing?
Yeah,
When's
is
it
it
going to
supposed to be
activate?
live
'Cause, like,
yet,
what
or-
is going on? Because I thought, well, maybe I need to be maximum level in the faction. So I hit level 15 and that didn't change anything. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of that and at least get an explanation of what it is and if it's going to be relevant anytime soon.
Yeah.
But it's probably going to be a 4-star game. You know, unless anything dramatically changes as I play some more online stuff to lower it or something like that. But generally, like what's there, it's solid. It's good.
The PC version right now, fair warning,
Oh.
is broken.
Really?
Not a game. Not even a game.
A lot of people are reporting that characters are missing when they go to the
Characters
character
are
select screen.
missing.
They were able to get to the character select screen?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I put, like last night, I pushed A and it just crashes to desktop. So it's like you can't even, it's a menu.
Yeah.
You downloaded a menu.
Yeah. But Ed Boon is tweeting about, like, yes, we're aware of the issues. Please be patient. We're trying to fix
They want to
this.
be aware of the issues.
Yeah. So if you're hoping for that game on PC, don't rush.
Cool.
Save your
All
money
right.
for a minute.
Things yet to be fixed. Cool. Mortal Kombat X in digital stores now. Jeff and Peter, thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
And chatting about it. What are you working on for the rest of your week, Peter Brown?
I don't know. I'm actually going to Tahoe this weekend. That's
Are
what
you
I'm
really?
working on once I'm done with
Motherfucker.
this.
They had
Yeah.
snow last week. Andy
Sweet.
Bauman went up there. He took a day off work. He just said straight up, "I'm not coming into work on Wednesday," and went
This
skiing.
email is
you
not
can
a
do
fake
that?
I'm sick
Yeah,
email.
yeah.
This
You
is
can do that?
Yeah, he was like, "I'm not going to call in sick. I'm just so you guys know I'm playing hooky. I'm going to go snowboard or
Sorry,
ski.
Andy.
Ski. Sorry, Andy. Ski.
Wow.
Oh.
And now you're blowing up his spot. So his manager can go, you got to fall for that time.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry, buddy. Jeff, what's coming up on Giant Bomb this week?
Mario Party 4.
All right.
We're gonna have a membership sale coming up pretty soon here.
Cool.
So if people want to get in on the premium side of things, there'll be a discounted price available pretty quick here, and that will get you access to a multi-hour nightmare of us playing Mario Party 4
Great.
later this week.
Well done, Mario Party
assuming
content.
that all lines up. We're still kind of making some preparations for,
Those go
for
to
all
some
those things.
dark places, don't they? I mean, you come into like
Yeah,
the,
Mario
the
Party is
long
dark.
hours of Mario Party, and it's. I mean, do you have physical wounds in addition to your clear
I hurt.
emotional wounds?
I hurt in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
and I can't tell if that's like psychosomatic or what the situation is, but I physically hurt when we do that.
Yeah,
I was really looking forward. Well, I
painful.
wasn't really looking forward to it. I was looking forward to an excuse to buying Mario. Is it Mario Party 10?
Yeah.
10. Is it 10? Yeah.
X, actually.
X.
X. I wanted to buy it, but the DLC model was total bullshit. I really wanted to get it, and it just seems like it's not that great. Like,
Just buy Mario Party 8 for the
You can't-
Wii.
on
You
the
play
Wii?
that on the Wii U.
I don't even have it. No? No?
What?
Don't buy a Mario
Just
Party
buy
game.
an
If you
actual
want-
board
if you want
game
Mario
and
Party-
play
If you want
it.
Mario Party, like, don't buy a Mario Party game. Like, go figure out what's wrong with you and get it fixed.
Actually,
that's
speaking
a
about
symptom.
DLC and Mario, the Mario Kart DLC I seemed like I bought like 6 months ago. The Animal Crossing stuff,
Yeah.
it's like not even, it's still like a month away or something. Is anyone
Sure.
else really pissed off about that, or is it just me?
What's
I didn't.
What?
There's like the Link DLC. You bought it as a 2-pack. There was 2-pack. There was the Link. There was like a Hyrule level.
I would play as
there was
2-pack
another
in
one.
Mario Kart.
Yeah,
Mario Kart, yeah.
2-pack
sure.
DLC.
The
Pretty
long
great.
beast
I'll take holograms.
Biggie Mario
Picture
Party
me rolling pack.
alongside. Yeah, that has like a big circuit with that bit where there are two moms met on the MTV Music Awards,
Yep.
hug each other. Bygones be bygones.
Rainbow Road, they call it.
Yeah, all right. Let's fucking leave the show there. Thank you very much for tuning into the lobby. We'll be back next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Pacific. I don't really know what's coming out for next month, to be frankly honest, but I think it's just one long road to The Witcher 3. Next week, we'll have a bunch of features up on GameSpot.com about that video game, which you should maybe look into watching and playing. We shall see. I'm going to get out of here because my mouth is falling apart like pieces of wet cake. Thanks very much to everyone in production. Mary Kish, Dan Mahorek, Eric Tay, Josh Shaw. Oh my God.
Hey, maybe.
And Cyber Jesus Jeremy Jane was also helping as well. We'll be back next week, same bad time. Bye-bye.